So Pat, I want to introduce you to the jungle by saying this is one of the most interesting people I have ever met in my life. And she is fun. Of course, anyone who knows me and knows what I'm up to and about in the world is bringing the fun to everything. It doesn't mean that it has to be like inappropriate fun or, in the wrong place, the wrong time, but an element of fun. Like you can show up anywhere and bring a little bit of fun and levity. And this is the woman for the job, okay? This is the woman for the job.
Thank you.
This is a person who is very interesting, smart, intelligent, huge background, like massively varied background, and who is living her dream. Not the dream that people think you're supposed to live or some idea of what the dream looks like, but in real time, living the dream. And so it's a pleasure to have you.
Oh, thank you, Kelly.
In a nutshell, what is it that you do, Pat?
Well, what I do, people that come to me usually are concerned about the time that is passing and especially where they are going. My Go-Getter Guidebook, which I wrote about 6 or 7 years ago now, is basically just a guidebook, and I am the guide to lead people on their path, to have them look at the time that's going by and where am I going. It's the Go-Getter's Guidebook. And basically that is the message. I'm just asking the question, what is it that you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? Do you want to make something? You want to do something special? So it's just about the path that lies ahead. So I do ask the questions. We try to get to the heart of the matter, but in a fun way. Not in a I want to disarm everybody to have their true heart come out on the table. The thing is that we don't want to do something that we're not suited for, or that we don't want to do, that we're not happy doing. So my job and my goal is to lead somebody down that path, and to me, a goal is something that hasn't happened yet. That's all it is. I use the word start a lot in my Go-Getter book. I just realized that the word start comes up a lot. And so how I start is that we take a blank piece of paper and we ask the question, what makes you happy? What does happiness mean to you? And then I ask my client to write a paragraph about that. Because often we haven't asked ourselves that. I mean, we do things that make us happy, but do we really dig deep and find out what truly makes us happy? And I don't want to, be irreverent and say people don't ask themselves that question and they aren't doing things that make them happy. But this is about your life, where I am coming from. My platform is, what are we going to do with your life going down the path of your journey? And the second question is, what does success mean to you? I think we're so distracted by media, entertainment, so much, and some people are confused about what success means to them. Of course, everybody wants to be a millionaire, maybe even a billionaire now, and everybody wants to do, buy the $1 million mansion, and there are all kinds of things that we want to do, but I really want to get to the very heart of what success means to you. So those two questions are the first things I ask, and we spend time writing about that and sort of a journaling, and it comes out to be a mission for my client.
Okay, yes, you did that with me, actually. I know, I know what you do.
Oh, we forget.
Well,
I
I forget.
And I did mine, and actually, Kelly, I look back on it 15 years ago, and it's the same mission statement. Mission sheet is a little bit different, the happiness and success. But then we do a goal sheet, which actually gets down to specifics. That's where we get specific.
So many women who are 50 and older are single. A ton of us are single. And then there's a ton of us who raised our kids and are going, what am I going to do with my life? And there's a ton of women, like I have 2 clients right now who are being booted. They're just over 50, both of them. And they're being booted out of corporate America, literally booted out of corporate America. One of them was like, I trained the young woman who took my job.
Ouch. Ouch.
And that's a reality. And so what I am now excited about is I'm really excited about helping women who are 50 and older. And so what do you want to say about the way that women usually feel when they're working on their career and they're over 50, and it's like, is it too late? Like there's always kind of this looming, well, it may be too late. It may be too late.
That's a brilliant question. One that I've asked a lot of my clients. Number one, I think too, is when somebody's being booted out, and I've gotten what I call the cosmic boot many times, is that what preceded that was a comfort zone. I was very comfortable getting out my routine, going to the same place, relying on the paycheck, of course, and it's very, very comforting. And I hate to say this, but a lot of people think that they wouldn't have initiated the move out of there unless they were booted out. I hate to use that word, but it's booted out. We're booted out.
Yeah.
And so, the comfort zone, we think, oh, I'm comfortable. I got comfortable, very comfortable in New York in my job. I was at a design showroom meeting movie stars. I was taking care of the library. I mean, it was awesome, an awesome job. And there were some difficulties there that would have made me leave, but it was kind of difficult because then the housing crash came and there were no jobs. And who doesn't want Bruce Willis in their library, I mean, I loved it. So it was just really exciting. And I think that there was a certain, like I said, comfort. However, there was also restlessness, some frustration, loss of momentum a little bit. And so those are the things that are the flip side of that comfort zone. So I say that if that's happening, to ride the ride, and it may be a little bit uncomfortable at first, but you will be going into a whole new area, a whole new world. And the world is big. Let's face it.
Yeah.
The world is big.
Yeah.
And
if you're staying open and staying like excited about life in your future, which is what I find is really hard for people over 50, it's like there is a message for women over 50. It's a combination of sexism and ageism of, kind of like you're invisible, you're not really seen, it's like irrelevance comes swooming in and all this. And so, but if you're staying awake, you're staying excited about life, you're saying, no, it's not over, okay? And I know, like for me, I really was in touch with the fact that people said, women over 50 are in their prime, but when I got there, that's not what I experienced at all. I didn't experience, whoopee, now the world's going to pay attention to me and listen to me. No, that's not really how it is. So you really have to rise above. If you're over 50 and you're a woman, I believe you have to rise above. And so looking for these opportunities and looking for, being open, just staying open.
The thing is that you have to be a detective and find out information. You can't stay on the couch and, like I said in my book, and eat potato chips, which is a great idea. But if no one's going to come knocking on the door and say, I've got an idea for you, and I'm going to take you on this idea. So I get out of my house, I start getting out there and circulating and start talking to people, and then things start to build. And that's how it happens. And if you're open, people will actually notice that you're open because you're already interested, you're out and about. It's an amazing process. The world is our oyster. The world is a smorgasbord of things. And a lot of people, like they said, are eating a cheese sandwich on the sidelines. And that's another thing. We can be on the sidelines watching what's going on in the
and usually play. Judging. If you're on the sidelines, you're usually going.
Oh yeah, and giving advice.
Well, they don't. Yeah. Giving advice.
Yes. You should do it this way while I'm sitting in my little comfort zone.
Yeah.
And you never get it.
That one really you know what? I don't let them get away with that anymore. You look them straight in the eye and go, really? Well, what are you doing?
I do. I say when you go on your next trip, let's have a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Ooh.
Or when you write your next book, and actually, I did just write another little book. But, the dream can change. Not that the dream would change, but the circumstances around it. So that we can navigate that towards, and the women over 50, they can do that even though it seems like a gloomy spot to be in. There may be many doors that are going to be open because they wouldn't have been open otherwise. So I don't put any limitations on any of those numbers or things that they can do because I am a living proof that you can do all of that and some. And I still, like you said, your original question, I expect to do more. Because this podcast, I did some podcasts, on the phone, from California and different states. But this kind of podcast was my real dream. So.
What is this kind of podcast?
A video podcast. I've never done one. So it's a victory. if it's written down, it's not going to be forgot. I want to get my second book out. The Galveston bookstore evidently is looking for local authors, and I like this little book. It's called The Book of Tweets.
Oh, tell us more about your book of tweets.
I tweeted for a couple of years, and then I realized I could do the same thing on Facebook as well. But I did go on Twitter, and I decided to take my 30 favorite tweets. And my son's a cartoonist, so he's going to do a cartoon for each tweet. And it's going to be like a little companion to my Go-Getter Guidebook. But the Go-Getter Guidebook is really more something that goes along with the Go-Getter program. So I don't know if I want to have that promoted separately in a bookstore. I would like to have this other book there as a little, kind of a fun thing to put in your purse and pull it out every once in a while for inspiration. The sky's the limit. And the thing is that, I think that it's a new journey when you can actually have a discussion about your own future. Let's face it, when you go to the kitchen table at work and say, you want to hear about my future? Do you want to discuss my goals? I could clear the room. They'd be going back to their office. And so I like to have the opportunity to give people the time to talk about themselves, what they want to do, and we always come to a place where we can get there.
Awesome. So how do people buy your book? This is Pat's book, The Go-Getter's Guide. Yay. It's awesome. How do they get in touch with you for coaching?
GoGetterNYC.com. And I've got some podcast interviews there. I've got a way to get in touch with me. My email is pvosterval@gmail.com. This can be also purchased through Hulu on the, not Hulu, Lulu, I think it is.
Lulu,
not Hulu. I get them all mixed up. Do the Hulu, and it's on the website. And I do give seminars. I try to get people interested. I usually use Facebook for any seminar that I'm giving. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for allowing me to interview you. And it's been a real treat, of course.
Mine as well.
And it's going to be fun to see what kind of difference comes out of this interview for you. I'm really excited. What we got to do.
And for both of us.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Collaboration.
And just do it.
Just do it. The Go-Getter. Pat, the Go-Getter. All right.